Jennifer Pan case, a tragic tale of deception, desperation, and the weight of expectations in the quiet suburban neighborhood of Markham, Ontario, where the Pan family lived. No one could have foreseen the tragic events that would shatter the veneer of normalcy. The Pan family was emblematic of the immigrant success story, a narrative of hard work, sacrifice, and the pursuit of a better life. Hun Pan and Bich Ha, both refugees from war-torn Vietnam, had overcome incredible odds to establish themselves in Canada. They toiled in a factory for decades. Hun as a tool and die maker and Bich in auto parts assembly, saving every penny to secure a future for their two children, Jennifer and Felix. They epitomized the virtues of hard work, discipline, and frugality, values they sought to instill in their children. Felix, the younger of the two, was the pride of his parents. Pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering at a prestigious university, he was the embodiment of his father's aspirations, a young man destined for a career in designing cars, a far cry from the assembly line work his parents had endured. Jennifer, the elder child, appeared equally accomplished. She was a talented figure skater, an accomplished pianist, and a straight-A student. Her parents had high hopes for her, envisioning a future in medicine or pharmacy, professions that would ensure stability and respect in the community. But beneath this carefully curated image of success lay a web of deception that would ultimately lead to one of the most shocking crimes in Canadian history. The Pan family's dreams were brutally shattered on the night of November 8, 2010, when three armed men broke into their home. What initially appeared to be a robbery quickly escalated into a horrifying ordeal. The intruders tied up Jennifer and demanded money from the family. Despite handing over all the cash they had, the gunmen were not satisfied. They forced Hun and Bich into the basement, covered their heads with a blanket, and shot them both. Bich died instantly, but Hun miraculously survived. Despite being shot in the face, Jennifer, who was left unharmed, managed to call 911, her voice trembling as she recounted the terrifying events. As the investigation unfolded, the police began to suspect that the story Jennifer had told them was not as straightforward as it seemed. Her calm demeanor during the 911 call and the inconsistencies in her account raised red flags. How had she managed to make a call while supposedly tied to the banister? Why was she the only one spared by the intruders? These questions led investigators to take a closer look at Jennifer's past, and what they discovered was a web of lies and deceit that had been spun over many years. Jennifer Pan had been living a double life. Despite her parents' belief that she was excelling academically, she had failed to graduate from high school. To maintain the illusion of success, she forged report cards, fabricated a college acceptance letter, and pretended to attend classes at a prestigious university. In reality, she spent her days with her boyfriend, Daniel Wong, a part-time drug dealer whom her parents had forbidden her from seeing. When her parents discovered her deceit, they tightened their control over her life, imposing strict rules and limiting her freedom. Jennifer felt trapped, suffocated by the weight of her parents' expectations and their relentless pursuit of perfection. In her desperation, Jennifer devised a plan to free herself from her parents' control. She contacted Hitman through Daniel and arranged for them to stage a home invasion, intending for her parents to be killed. However, the plan went awry when her father survived the attack. In the hospital, Hun Pan regained consciousness and provided a testimony that contradicted Jennifer's account. He had seen her unbound and conversing with one of the intruders, a detail that Jennifer had conveniently left out. Faced with mounting evidence, Jennifer was brought in for further questioning. After hours of intense interrogation, she finally confessed to hiring the hitman, though she claimed that she had planned to die alongside her parents, framing the incident as a suicide by proxy. However, her story did not hold up under scrutiny. The police and prosecutors were convinced that Jennifer had orchestrated the murder of her parents out of a desire to live freely with Daniel. In December 2014, Jennifer Pan was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. The hitman and Daniel Wong were also sentenced to life in prison. The Jennifer Pan case sent shockwaves through Canada and beyond, leaving a lasting impact on everyone who heard the story. It is a chilling reminder of the devastating consequences that can arise from a combination of strict parenting, cultural expectations, and a young woman's desperate need to escape. Behind the facade of a perfect family, dark secrets festered, ultimately leading to a tragedy that no one could have foreseen. The weight of expectations. The immigrant experience. To fully understand the tragedy of the Jennifer Pan case, it is essential to delve deeper into the cultural and psychological factors that contributed to her actions. The Pan family's story is not unique, it is a reflection of the broader immigrant experience. Particularly for those from East Asian backgrounds, immigrant parents often sacrifice everything to provide their children with opportunities they themselves never had. This sacrifice comes with an unspoken expectation that the children will excel academically and professionally, bringing honor and success to the family. For Hun and Bitch Pan, their expectations for Jennifer were shaped by their own experiences of hardship and deprivation. They had escaped a war-torn country, endured the challenges of resettlement in a foreign land, and worked tirelessly in low-paying jobs to build a better life for their children. Their dreams for Jennifer were not merely about academic and professional success, they were about securing a stable and prosperous future, one that would validate their sacrifices and ensure the family's upward mobility in society. Jennifer, like many children of immigrant parents, was acutely aware of the weight of these expectations. From a young age, she excelled in school, driven by a desire to please her parents and live up to the high standards they had set. Her achievements in figure skating and piano were sources of pride for the Pan family, symbols of their success in raising a talented and accomplished daughter. However, as Jennifer grew older, the pressure to maintain this image became overwhelming. Her parents' strict control over her life, their constant monitoring of her activities, and their insistence on academic excellence left her with little room to explore her own identity or make mistakes. The immigrant experience is often characterized by a tension between the old and the new, between the cultural values of the parents' homeland and the norms of the society in which they now live. For Jennifer, this tension manifested in a double life, one in which she outwardly conformed to her parents' expectations while secretly rebelling against them. The more her parents tightened their grip, the more Jennifer felt the need to assert her independence, even if it meant resorting to lies and deceit. The psychological impact of strict parenting, particularly in the context of immigrant families, can have profound psychological effects on children. While discipline and high expectations are often seen as necessary for success, they can also lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and resentment. Jennifer Pan's case is a stark illustration of the dangers of overly controlling parenting, where the child's autonomy is severely restricted and failure is not an option. Psychologists have long studied the effects of authoritarian parenting, a style characterized by high demands and low responsiveness. Children raised in such environments often struggle with self-esteem, as their worth is tied to their ability to meet their parents' expectations. Failure to do so can result in feelings of shame and a fear of disappointing their parents, leading to a cycle of anxiety and self-doubt. In Jennifer's case, her inability to meet her parents' academic expectations led her to forge report cards and fabricate achievements, creating a facade of success to avoid their disapproval. Moreover, strict parenting can stifle a child's ability to develop a sense of self. When parents exert excessive control over their child's life, the child may struggle to form their own identity and make independent decisions. This can lead to a deep sense of frustration and a desire to break free from the constraints imposed by their parents. For Jennifer, this frustration manifested in her relationship with Daniel Wong, who represented an escape from the rigid confines of her family life. However, her inability to reconcile her desire for independence with her fear of disappointing her parents ultimately led to the tragic events of November 8, 2010. The role of cultural expectations. Cultural expectations also played a significant role in the Jennifer Pan case. In many East Asian cultures, filial piety, the respect and obedience owed to one's parents, is a deeply ingrained value. Children are expected to honor their parents by achieving academic and professional success, upholding the family's reputation, and caring for their parents in their old age. Failure to fulfill these duties is seen not only as a personal failure but as a betrayal of the family. For Jennifer, the pressure to adhere to these cultural expectations was immense. Her parents' desire for her to become a doctor or pharmacist was not just about financial security, it was also about fulfilling her duty as a daughter. This sense of obligation can create a psychological burden, as children feel compelled to sacrifice their own desires and aspirations for the sake of the family. In Jennifer's case, this burden became unbearable, leading her to make a series of increasingly desperate decisions. It is important to note that while cultural expectations can be a source of motivation and strength, they can also be a source of stress and conflict, especially when they clash with the individual's personal desires. The tension between fulfilling her parents' expectations and pursuing her own happiness created an internal conflict for Jennifer, one that she was unable to resolve. This conflict was further exacerbated by her parents' strict control over her life, leaving her with little room to navigate her own path. The psychological spiral from deception to desperation. Jennifer Pan's journey from deception to desperation is a cautionary tale about the dangers of living a double life. What began as small lies such as forging a report card quickly escalated into a web of deceit that became increasingly difficult to maintain. Each lie required another to cover it up, creating a downward spiral that trapped Jennifer in a cycle of dishonesty and fear. The psychological toll of maintaining this double life cannot be underestimated. Jennifer was constantly living in fear of being discovered, knowing that the truth would not only devastate her parents but also destroy the carefully constructed image she had built. This fear led her to make increasingly irrational decisions, such as fabricating a university acceptance letter and pretending to attend classes. As the lies piled up, Jennifer found herself in a situation where the only way out in her mind was to eliminate the source of her stress, her parents. The decision to hire Hitman to kill her parents was the culmination of years of psychological distress and a desperate desire to escape. By this point, Jennifer's sense of reality had become so distorted that she believed this was the only solution to her problems. This is not to excuse her actions, but rather to understand the complex psychological factors that drove her to such an extreme measure. The impact of the Jennifer Pan case. The Jennifer Pan case has had a profound impact on the public consciousness, raising important questions about parenting, cultural expectations, and the psychological well-being of young people. It has sparked debates about the pressures faced by children of immigrant parents, the dangers of authoritarian parenting, and the consequences of living a double life. For many, the case is a tragic reminder of the importance of open communication and understanding between parents and children. While it is natural for parents to have high expectations for their children, it is also crucial to recognize the importance of supporting their emotional and psychological needs. Children need to feel that they can be honest with their parents, even when they make mistakes, and that their worth is not solely determined by their academic or professional achievements. The case has also highlighted the need for greater awareness of the psychological challenges faced by young people, particularly those who are under intense pressure to succeed. Mental health issues, such as anxiety and depression, can be exacerbated by a lack of autonomy and the fear of failure. It is essential for parents, educators, and society as a whole to provide young people with the support they need to navigate these challenges and to encourage them to seek help when they are struggling. Conclusion. The Jennifer Pan case is a tragic tale of deception, desperation, and the weight of expectations. It is a story that resonates with many, particularly those who have experienced the pressures of living up to their parents' expectations and the cultural demands of filial piety. While Jennifer's actions were inexcusable, they were also the result of a complex interplay of psychological, cultural, and familial factors. This case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of understanding the pressures faced by young people, particularly those from immigrant families. It underscores the need for open communication, emotional support, and a balanced approach to parenting that values not only academic and professional success, but also the mental and emotional well-being of children. As we reflect on the Jennifer Pan case, it is crucial to consider how we can prevent such tragedies in the future. This requires a collective effort to create environments where young people feel supported, understood, and valued for who they are, rather than for what they achieve. Only then can we hope to prevent the devastating consequences that arise when the weight of expectations becomes too much to bear.